This presentation is to go over the Google Apps. If you have a Google account, like a Gmail, then you have access to all the Google Apps that's available. A lot of people do not know that there are Google Apps that you could use just for having a Gmail account. When you have a Gmail account, it's actually a Google account. Once you log into your Google account, you'll have access to it. We're going to go over some of the applications that Google offers: Google Drive, Google Docs, Slides, Drawings, Sheets, Forms, Calendar, Photos, Google Maps, YouTube, Google Sites, Google Plus are the ones that we're going to go over in this presentation. Once you log into your Google account, at the top right there are a little checkerboard that will open up to the common Google apps. As you see there, you've got the Gmail Drive, which is the Google Drive, Photos, and so forth. There are more applications. If you hit the more at the bottom, that will open up a web page, and if you go at the bottom of that, it will show you all of the Google apps that you have access to. And at the top left in your Google Chrome, you'll have an apps icon. It's also a little checkerboard, colored checkerboard that has the word apps next to it. Those are part of the Google Apps, but you can go out to the Google Store and search for other Google apps other than Google, and they're basically an extension to the Chrome browser that people have made programs that run under Chrome, just like the Google apps do. So there's a lot of free ones. There are some that you pay for, but the best thing to do is go out there and do a search on the web store when you go into that icon, and do your search to try to find something that you're actually looking for. Google Drive is basically a file storage on the internet. It allows you to store your files in the cloud and synchronize them across all your devices and share those files with other people. So you can upload it and download them from your computer, your laptop, tablet, or your phone. You do have to install Google Drive on each of your devices for that to work. So in Google Drive, you access it from your browser. And that's what we're looking at here on the left and at the bottom. And you have access, and you can see where I've created folders under my drive. But I've got the same folders showing up under Google Drive that's actually on my PC. Because I've installed Google Drive on my PC, I don't need to go to a browser to edit them. I can just go to the folder under my username, Google Drive, and then I'll see everything there. I can store other files that are not Google Drive, photos, videos. I can store any of Microsoft Office products. I can open them and edit them, save them right to that folder under my Google Drive on my PC. It will sync them up with the cloud, and then I can go to my tablet or phone and view those same files from there as well. I can also share those files with other people. I can share the folders, which may contain more than one file, and when you share a folder, everything under that folder gets shared without having to go to each file and sharing it with someone. Docs is a word processor. It's similar to Microsoft Word. It has the toolbars similar to Word, where you do all your editing. Here's an example of a 2-page out of 9 pages, and I'm looking at 2 pages at a time. You can add images to it, format it just like Word. Google Slides is a presentation application similar to Microsoft PowerPoint. You can do a lot of things just like PowerPoint, add images. You got a toolbar as well. You got the similar things like you do under Microsoft PowerPoint as far as the tools go. Here's an example of a 2-page presentation, slide presentation that I've created. Google Drawings is like Microsoft Visio. It allows you to create drawings, flowcharts, and so forth. Here's an example of a flowchart that I created in Google Drawings. Google Sheets is like Microsoft Excel. It's a spreadsheet application. Has similar features. Got a toolbar just like Excel. You can do similar things like you do in Excel. This is showing a pie chart based on the data in the spreadsheet. Google Forms is a application that allows you to create surveys. You can create a poll. You can send a link over to people. They fill the form out. It saves that to a Google Sheet and collects that information if you're sending it to more than one person, and they fill it out. Here's an example of a Google form where you order t-shirts and you put your name and select certain options related to the t-shirt and the fundraising of this particular form. So in Google Drive, any of the folders or files, you can share and control that with other people. You have different types of sharing options. Anytime that you create something in Google Drive, any of the Google Docs or Microsoft Office document or a photo, video, or anything, you are always the owner until you change it. So here's the example where I can change the access here on the left. When you change that access, it gives you another window here. I can make it public on the web, and that means that if you're searching for something in Google, and it will be accessible through the Google search. I can share it with only people that have a link to it, or I can turn that off and only specify certain people by using their email. And again, this applies to any file or folder within the Google Drive. Google has a Google Calendar. The calendar can be synced between your computer, your phone, tablet, so forth. And you can also share your calendar with other people, as we'll see in the next slides. Here's an example of my Google Calendar. You can see here in the bottom left, I've got other calendars here that I've added that are not mine, but I've added it to my calendar. And I'm looking at, if I check marks those, I'll be able to see those calendar schedules right within my calendar. So here's an example where I've got my calendar reminders. Down here I've got other calendars. I can also share my calendar with my family. My family can create their own calendar and share that with me, and we could all see each other's calendars within one calendar. So it's very handy. Here we have Google Photos. You can store your photos, create albums of your photos. Here you can see I have different albums related to my sailboat club and different events. You can also animate your photos where this will actually move from side to side, so that the picture of this is actually bigger than what we're looking at. So I can animate it so that the picture slides to the left or right where you can see more of the picture, but the window itself will stay the same and it will actually animate it. The source of this is no longer on my Google Photos, so I'm not able to show that animation, but you can animate it. And Google Maps, this allows you to create your own Google Maps. You can look at the history of where you've been. If you have Google Maps a location turned on your phone, you can create additional Google Maps. Here I have other people that shared their Google Maps with me, and I can see all the Google Maps, or I can just look at what I own or what I don't own. But you've got different types of Google Maps that you can share with other people, and other people can share with you. Here's a Google map that I've done in my Radio Control Airplane Club. It shows the center here is where I would be standing. Each of these dots represents a location, and what I'm trying to do is to find out how many feet is that from where I'm standing, as well as how many feet is the runway. So once I've identified each of the locations, I can then also do a check to find out how far is it from 0 to 1, 0 to 2, and so forth, as well as from L to R, which would represent the length of the runway. So L to R here is 436 feet is our runway that we use. Looks like the furthest point out is 930 feet, which is out to number 4. So I did this all on Google Maps, and I could share this with other people, or I could just retain it as my own. I can also identify locations where I want to go. I can identify each of these locations. This was a team that I worked with. They went and visit all these locations, and they wanted to share this with the people that they are involved with, to represent where they went and where they visit. So I can select on the little icons, and it will show me what that is, location, description, so forth. We've got YouTube. You can upload your videos to YouTube and share them with others, or make them public. Here's my RC club, where I've done videos of our club sailing and put it out there on their YouTube channel. I also got control. I can also allow people to comment on my videos, so you've got a lot of control of what you want to do. You can also do live streaming if you turn that on, and actually stream live video right to your YouTube channel, and you can share that with others, and they could be watching it live as well. Google Sites, it's a web page creator. It's similar to any other application. When you go to edit a Word document or a spreadsheet, it has similar tools. Each one of these menu items here on the left represents a web page, and the menu items are based on the web pages, and you can structure that menu and put those pages anywhere you want, and you can put them under other pages as well. I'm using multiple Google apps on the Google site for my club. Under locations, I've been using Google Maps to represent the location of our club. Under schedule, I'm using Google Calendar to document all of our club races. Google Plus, where the team the club could share among themselves. I've got photos and videos, which is the Google Photos and YouTube, so that will take you directly to those areas. So this shows you the Google Sites. I'm looking at the location. I've got a pictures coming from my Google Photos, and the Google Map is the Google Map of our pond location. If you select this map, it'll bring up Google Maps, and you could zoom up and also indicate your location to get directions to the pond. Here we have our club calendar using Google Calendar, and I can share this calendar with anyone. All they need is the email, and they can add that email to their calendar, and it will pull up our calendar and allow them to migrate that onto their calendar as well. Google Sites, Again, this is actually Google Plus. We'll talk about that. This is the photo album and the YouTube of the Sailboat Club. So when you select those media items on our website, it will directly take you to our YouTube channel. This is showing you that I've got a photo here on the web page, but it's actually stored in our Google Photos. So anything in YouTube or anything under Google Drive or Google Photos, you can display that onto your web page. Here is also where I can have a chart and I can list things. I can resort them. Any user that's visiting the web page can resort them. And I can add or take things away as an administrator. And when you edit a Google page, web page, you've got the 3 icons at the top for edit, create, more actions. Is this settings shown here on the left that manages your website and different things you can do. You can copy a page, you can move a page up and down the menu and so forth. It has the same type of tools that you see in any other application for formatting your web page. You can also add URL links under the text, and you can tell that URL link to go to that page, or you can tell that URL to open up a new tab so that you don't lose the place of where you were if you're going away from your website. So here's Google Plus, where you have different types of groups within Google Plus, and people can do post different things. I have things for where the officer would post their stuff here. Members and non-members would post stuff in this section, and people would post things in here if they want to sell items. Again, this is just showing you more of the Google Plus. As shown in the beginning, you also have another icon up here in the upper left. You've got some of the common things that you would use from Google. You can see that I've added other types of apps that I found under the web store. This is used for like project management, scheduling, Python. These are all related to my applications for programming my drone quads. So there's a lot of things you can find under the web store. A lot of them are free, some of them charge you, so it's worthwhile going out there, do a search or look at categories and see if you find something that you might find useful to use. And this is just showing you the Chrome web store, and basically all these applications under here are actually extensions that you can add and be part of your Google Docs and Google applications. So that brings us to the end of this presentation. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something about Google Apps.